George could run toy trains and count to 10. How tough could this be?
Huh? Could you repeat that?
What did he say? Number 7, number 8. Anybody understand that?
I don't understand him, but I trust him. Fast work, Station Master. We're all in order. Station Master? We're sort of out of order again.
Station Master, you did say reverse, didn't you?
Real trains were even easier than toy trains for a smart monkey. All he had to do was simply move the number 5 train first. George was a great train master. The 5 moved into position, followed by 8, 7, 9, and 6. Then 6, 7, 9, 8, and 5. Then 7, 5, 6, 8, 9. 6, 9, 7, 5, 8. 5, 6, 8, 9, 7. 7, 5, 6, 8, 9. 5, 6, 8, 9, 7, 8, 7, 9, 5, 6. 5, 6, 5, 7, 5, 6, 8, 9. And then 356?
Is it just me, or did that sound like a monkey?
This wasn't like his toy trains anymore. George needed help. Flint was right outside comparing jelly sandwiches, unaware that a little monkey needed him. George didn't know why that warning bell wasn't going off.
See, if the whole sandwiches are equal, the halves must be too, right?
Thanks for holding down the fort, George. I'll take it from here.
That was the craziest train ride ever. You wouldn't believe it, George.
George still wanted to be a station master, but only in his own home, where he could eat a one-piece sandwich. Cutting sandwiches in half only leads to trouble. George couldn't recall ever seeing the man with the yellow hat looking like this. He was usually calm, cool, and wearing a yellow hat.
Oh, here he comes. Hello?
Good morning. Come on in. Ready as promised.
It was worth living without it for 3 long days. I'd rather carry it myself, George.
You're not gonna wear your hat?
No, I want to keep it perfect till tonight. We're going to the opening of the new planetarium dome. Thanks. Let's get home before anything happens to my perfect clean hat. Well, we made it safely. Okay, now, George, when I get back, we're going right to the planetarium, so take a bath. There'll be photographers there. I want you to look clean and fluffy.
George was going to take a bath, just like he was told. It sure was a perfect hat. Who could resist trying it on? George wanted Compass to see him in the yellow hat. It'd only take a second. George saw the hat fly this way, but it disappeared. The hat was back home and still perfect. Almost. George removed the piece of branch as carefully as any surgeon working on any yellow hat could. Okay, there was just a tiny thread there. No problem. Maybe he needed to pull harder. Or maybe it had to be cut off. George had forgotten that the last time he used his safety scissors was to cut his strawberry jam and banana sandwich. It was only a small smudge. All he had to do was clean it off. This stiff brush got the grill sparkling like new every time, and the grill got dirtier than the hat. He may have scrubbed too hard. The apartment building where George lived was a very orderly place. And that's how Hunley liked it.
They're here to clean your carpets.
People came. And people went. The elevator arrived. And people came down the stairs. Everything in Hunley's lobby was orderly and neat. Well, almost everything.
We can't go back into the apartment until the carpet is dry, George. So you stay here in the lobby while I run my errands, all right? Okay. Oh, and in case you get hungry, I won't be long.
Hunley didn't think George should be eating a sloppy apple in the lobby. George decided it would probably be better to eat his apples someplace else. Hunley had never been through this door before. But he was pretty sure it was against the rules to be out here. Hunley didn't think George would ever get in that way. So he'd find a better way.
All right, move it along.
At least there was one thing Hunley knew for certain. Home was this way. Or maybe that way. Hunley was getting worried. He could just imagine the terrible things that sloppy monkey was doing to his lobby. When Hunley found his building, it was even worse than he imagined. But then Hunley saw that it wasn't his street at all. But that meant he had no idea where he was.
Lots more coming. Stick around.
Come on, guys, let's go.
There was the Rinkin silo. The river brought them back home. They weren't lost. All they had to do was stop. It was a long way to run, but when they got to that silo, they knew they'd be completely lost. It was the wrong silo. They were now even more lost than the lost chicks. George couldn't even find the river. Nothing looked familiar. But there was the duck rock again. A landmark. George had an idea. They saw the big duck rock. And what else did they pass on the river? The big trees, the boat, and Rinkin's silo. The sun set behind the Rinkin silo. Suddenly, they didn't feel so lost. They ran to that rock. But when they got there, it didn't look like the big duck rock. But as George walked around, he discovered it was the big duck rock. The big trees. They had found the next landmark. And there was the boat. Another landmark. If he followed the river all the way, he would find the silo, with the sun right behind it. But George realized that if he took the river all the way around, it would take too long. They could just take a shortcut and follow the sun. This couldn't be easier. Okay, it would have been easier if they could see where they were going. They had to walk towards the sun. But how could they find it now? It was that way. The chicks recognized those friendly monkey feet.
We'll never find those chicks in the dark.
George! Didn't I tell you to stay at the duck pen?
Oh, you brought him home! You're a hero, monkey.
George, how did you do it?
After a day lost in the country, what could be more relaxing than going home to the city?
Did you see a raft at the river? Bill made it for us. Next weekend, we take a relaxing raft trip. Won't that be fun?
George knew he had to keep Gnocchi away from that spaghetti strand. He had an idea how to do it. Now Now George had an accurate way to measure the building. This tape measure could measure anything. This was going great. 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet. Uh-oh. The tape measure was only 20 feet long, but the building was more than 20 feet tall. But how much more? Now how was George going to measure the building? If only he had something longer than that tape. Of course, George had a spaghetti strand 30 feet long.
Say, aren't you Ginny, the world record book lady?
You are correct.
Oh, I've been a fan of yours for years.
Well, thank you. I'm here looking for...
I know what you're looking for. Chef Biscotti's is this way. There's Biscotti's restaurant.
And here's Chef Biscotti's strand of spaghetti. I have got to get a picture of this.
George could see that the spaghetti wasn't touching the ground, which meant it was a little bit shorter than the building. How could he measure the difference? When George held the strand at the top of his head, it reached the ground. That meant the building was exactly one spaghetti strand and one George tall.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is going to be spectacular. Love this.
Stevie, why you don't come back in the middle? You're Ginny, the world record book lady.
And you must be Chef Biscotti.
Yes, yes.
And up there on the roof, is that your monkey friend?
Yes, monkey. Giorgio?
Displaying your super long spaghetti strand. Here's the photograph I just took of it.
Wow. Does that set a world record, Ginny?
Oh, I'm afraid not. Here's the picture I took of Alfonso Dimitri displaying his strand of cooked spaghetti from the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
No. Now I'm never gonna get in the world record book.
You most certainly will. You have the second longest strand of cooked spaghetti. 3 stories tall.
Son of the
Wow,
gun,
Chef
eh?
Biscotti.
3 stories
Oh,
tall.
way to go!
Oh, 3 stories. I gotta call Nettie and tell her the building next door is 3 stories tall.
So Gnocchi finally got to play with the spaghetti. And Chef Biscotti broke a second record. World's longest cat toy.
May as well not let them go to waste.
If Gnocchi's eating cat food, she's not sick. What could it be? What will we do without ravioli? Uh-oh. I think I'm allergic to something in here. Yeah, I have an allergy. It's when your body overreacts to something like food or a plant or flowers. Some types of flowers can make some people sneeze and cough. Well, not you. Some people don't have any allergies, and some have a lot. I have to move these away from me, or I won't be able to breathe at all.
That seemed familiar, but George couldn't remember why.
Some nice tangy antipasto for you.
Kind of bland.
George knew the tangy eggplant wasn't bland.
Oh, it's the stuffed up nose. Without a good sense of smell, everything tastes boring.
Here's your dinner.
Oh, thank
But for the past few days, she likes nothing.
No. No chewing under the flowers today.
George?
George had the answer.
Of course, you can take the flowers home if you like them.
Well, that didn't work.
George, what are you doing in here? What are you...
George, I think he's allergic. You shouldn't... Your cat is allergic to certain flowers. Here's a list.
Oh,
Really? But she tries to eat them. Don't let her. Here's my bill. So, George's theory was right.
and a lot cheaper.
Maybe it swam back home. George remembered he'd seen big tracks like these in a book. There they were. Dinosaur tracks. A duck-billed dinosaur. George got a photo of Jumpy by leaving out food. Couldn't he do the same with a dinosaur? What a prize photo that would be. He didn't have any dinosaur food, but maybe they would like fruits and vegetables.
Hi, George.
George! I saw that fawn in the hills, but I couldn't find you! Hey, you coming swimming?
George was thinking about something bigger than a fawn. Much bigger. Those tracks couldn't possibly belong to a meat-eating dinosaur, could they? Could that be the dinosaur? George decided to warn the man with the yellow hat that a hungry dinosaur might be visiting. The dinosaur had returned from the water. And the tracks were headed towards Bill's house.
Hiya, George. Did you see the fawn? Yeah, I guess those do look like dinosaur tracks. Yep. My new boots were hurting my feet, so I put these on to walk to the lake. I told you I was going swimming, remember? Hey, now I know what it's like to walk in a dinosaur's footsteps.
With no hungry dinosaurs around, George still needed that special photo for Nature Week. It sounded like Jumpy was hungry again. But George had enough pictures of that squirrel. For such big animals, those deer left pretty small tracks.
Hey, deer tracks. Wow, you used fruits and vegetables to lure the deer to our house so you could take photos?
Look at these wonderful deer. Oh, how did you manage to capture such amazing photos, George?
Oh, you know George, he just used his imagination. Isn't that right?
They worked as a team and found out they were a really bad team. George figured if they lowered the sail, they'd stop blowing away. The island stopped getting further away. But then the fog rolled in.
Wow, it sure got foggy fast.
Yeah. Hey, where's my boat?
Oh no. George!
Hunley?
George and Hundley were fog-bound. Another island. How could they get there without blowing away again? The motor. George had a feeling he should have left this where it was. Sure, sand was messy, but Hundley would rather be dirty than float away again.
Now, they couldn't have gotten far.
The water's too deep. We can't follow them without another boat. Or a raft.
Come on, we'll need more wood and vines.
If he was going to be stuck here, Hundley wasn't going to sit in sand the whole time. That was when George realized he had no idea how to get back to the man without the yellow hat.
Okay, we'll need just a few more, then we can tie them together into a raft.
rock looked familiar. The unusual rocks were almost identical. Could it be? George needed to get up high so he could see far. Those trees could only mean one thing. Footprints meant feet. Feet meant people, because you don't see a lot of feet on their own.
Do we have enough logs? I don't know how many more I can drag.
We need more.
Oh, thanks, George. George? Look who found me! Look who found me!
Oh, Huntley, I thought you were lost. You wouldn't happen to have my boat with you, would you? Next stop, home sweet home.
Hold it! My yellow hat!
People sure are buying a lot of coffee makers. I just wrapped 15 in a row.
There you are. I've been looking all over for you.
George wanted to play with the wrapper people some more. But he had to get these pants home. George hadn't been gone very long. But when he got back, the present had disappeared.
Oh, thanks for picking up my pants, George. I know how curious a little monkey can be, so I put the present away. That should take your mind off of it.
But hiding the present only made George more curious. This was the first time George noticed the walls were wrapped. It looked like wrapping on top of more wrapping. Maybe there were 100 layers of wallpaper under here. Or not. Since he reached the end, George tried to put it all back. But it didn't want to go. Then he thought of a way to make this the perfect bathroom for the professor's birthday.
Is that you, George? Make sure you wash up before Professor Wiseman gets here. And would you make sure that bowl of her favorite fresh fruit is out where she'll see it?
can't get away with that.
Huh?
You didn't wash. This hand is all sticky. Okay, now, wow. What happened in here? Oh, Professor Wiseman, help me hide this mess.
Hello, George. Everything okay?
I'll be right out. I got your favorite fruit. Help yourself.
Ooh. Is this a banangerine? You can't put skins on fruit, George. Only nature can do that. On the other hand, nature doesn't make banangerines.
Sorry, I'm... Happy birthday from George and me.
Oh, you didn't have to. Would you like to help me open it, George? I never would have guessed that's what was in this big box.
That's why it was wrapped that way.
Oh, my favorite symphony. You remembered. Thanks. Let's listen to it during dinner.
Oh, here, I'll get that.
George figured he'd better eat something. Because this was gonna take a while. George always liked when friends dropped by. When it was Compass the pigeon, he really dropped by. George really liked birds, and Compass really liked whatever George was. George thought he'd make a pretty good pigeon.
Are you all right, George? Oh, stay right there. I know just what we need.
For once, George had no trouble staying where he was told until the man with the yellow hat returned. With butter.
Well, this butter is for your foot, George, not for bread. Okay, try now. Well, I guess I'll have to call the fire department. They have the right tools to handle anything.
Rescue requested. Someone is stuck in monkey bars on his balcony.
Monkey bars on the balcony?
Why don't we ever get normal calls?
Oh, it's not monkey bars on the balcony. It's a monkey stuck in the bars on the balcony. Hiya, George.
It's still not normal.
Oh, we may have to saw through it.
She means the chair. Let's use the spreaders. We'll spread the bars apart, and then you can just pull your foot out, George.
Oh, there you go.
All in a day's work for the fire department.
This fire department, anyway.
Nice. Say, George, would you like to visit the firehouse and give them this picture as a thank you?
Sharky!
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 Sharky slip out of her collar?
Yeah, this is the 10th time she's gotten away this month.
She's like an escape artist, but with fur and a tail.
Well, we'll keep our eyes peeled.
Hi. Oh, this'll look great on our wall.
Glad you like it. Now, come on, George, we've got to go.
Oh, George can stay. He'll be our mascot.
Okay, have fun, George. And be a good little monkey mascot.
George couldn't wait to check out the firehouse tools and equipment.
George? George? Hey, have you guys seen George?
There's no one up here but us.
There was a whole other room at the top of that pole.
Rescue requested. A dog is up a tree.
Oh, that George. Found him.
Hey, George. I found George. I wonder how a dog got up a tree.
I wonder why we never get any normal calls.
It wasn't perfect. Yet. George's tree had everything a tree has, including a homing pigeon in his new home.
Oh, look at this. Look at this.
Wow, that's a lot of dirt.
I left Hundley in charge, and when I came back, dirt everywhere. If only I spoke Dachshund.
I wish you spoke pigeon. A homing pigeon's been living on our balcony for...
Little blue pigeon with a yellow tag?
Yeah. You've seen it too?
That's Compass. I thought he was lost forever.
And I thought the pigeon would be happier on the balcony if it had a small tree to Oh, no. Oh, what?
If one of us spoke Dachshund, I bet this wouldn't have been a surprise.
George, where are you? Is that a tree?
George had never felt prouder. Now that he had the perfect home, the bird could live here forever.
Compass, good to see you. Yeah, Compass is an almost homing pigeon. He won't admit he has a weak sense of direction.
George, The doorman is the pigeon's friend. He came to take him home. To his real home.
Everybody, look who's home!
See? He's back where he belongs. I bought it for birds to sit in, so you can draw them. Nice effort, George. But birds want to sit in a real tree. Compass! Look, a real tree for you. Make yourself at home.
The pigeon still didn't know what George was, but he sure made a good tree. George couldn't recall ever seeing the man with the yellow hat looking like this. He was usually calm, cool, and wearing a yellow hat.
Oh, here he comes. Hello?
Good morning. Come on in. Ready as promised.
Ah, it was worth living without it for 3 long days. I'd rather carry it myself, George.
You're not gonna wear your hat?
No, I want to keep it perfect till tonight. We're going to the opening of the new planetarium dome. Thanks. Let's get home before anything happens to my perfect clean hat. Well, we made it safely. Okay, now George, when I get back, we're going right to the planetarium, so take a bath. There'll be photographers there. I want you to look clean and fluffy.
George was going to take a bath, just like he was told. It sure was a perfect hat. Who could resist trying it on? George wanted Compass to see him in the yellow hat. It'd only take a second. George saw the hat fly this way, but it disappeared. The hat was back home and still perfect. Almost. George removed the piece of branch as carefully as any surgeon working on any yellow hat could. Okay, there was just a tiny thread there. No problem. Maybe he needed to pull harder. Or maybe it had to be cut off. George had forgotten that the last time he used his safety scissors was to cut his strawberry jam and banana sandwich. It was only a small smudge. All he had to do was clean it off. This stiff brush got the grill sparkling like new every time, and the grill got dirtier than the hat. He may have scrubbed too hard. He hoped studying the big clock would show him exactly what to do with the little clock. George was glad that noise had stopped. But maybe it was time to pack up and go home.
That clock has never stopped, ever!
The big clock on the library stopped.
Well, let's go!
Wait, Stu. What are we supposed to do?
We're the fire department. We'll figure it out. Mr. Elo, the big clock stopped.
The big library clock that the whole city depends upon?
Yeah.
Oh, that clock has never stopped, ever. We must move like lightning.
He was sure he had all the tools, but George still felt like he was missing something.
Okay, miss, thank you. Please, step outside. I must listen. Whose tools are these? What's a little monkey like you doing in a huge clock like this? Well, would you like me to help you? Okay, and this goes there. Now, you see? What a beautiful clock. Did you make it? I know everything about clocks, but not one thing about understanding monkey. Well, be more careful in the future, eh? Time is a precious thing.
Compass? What have we said about bringing pigeons indoors, George?
Oh, it's all right. Are you showing him my clock? Well, go ahead.
George, how did this heavy metal toolbox get so...